What cities have nice climates in Mexico? Hi, broadcasting not live from Mazatlan, Mexico, I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. Are you planning a trip to Mexico? Are you planning to live in Mexico? Are you trying to find the perfect city in Mexico for a good life? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then this is the video that you want to see. I have lived in many climates in North America over all of my years. I lived in New Hampshire for 4 years. In January, every day it was 50 below zero with 5 feet of snow on the ground. I lived in Puerto Vallarta for 10 years. In the summertime, the place looks like a ghost town because outside it's so hot and humid. The climate of where you choose to visit or where to live can make the experience a real heaven or an unbearable, terrible hell. I'm going to share with you my experience about living in and visiting 7 different cities in Mexico. Hopefully I can share some information with you today that will help you have a heavenly Mexico experience. I'm going to start with one city. It's the only city that I have not visited, but that I've heard a lot about. And that city would be Merida. The reason I bring this city up, Merida, is that it's a very popular city. I've interviewed and done videos about many people that live there. They all love it. I've X'd Merida off my list of places to live in Mexico because they say it's hot and humid all year round, though some people say that it's perfect in the winter months for about 4 months. As I make this video today, they say it's 114 degrees in Merida, and it's hot and humid as hell with many power outages and water shortages. I'm not going. It's off my list. I might visit there and make a video this January or February, but I'm not going to live there. You can see Merida on the far east side of Mexico at the top of the Yucatan Peninsula. And here is the year-round weather map. You can see it's a high of 85 in January, but then in May it's up around 97 degrees, but that's a hot and humid 97. And right now at the end of May, it's 114 degrees. The next 2 cities I'm going to talk about I have lived in for 10 years or for 2 years. These cities are Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan, and the weather is extremely similar. But before we move ahead, let's talk about high season. High season is the 6 months in Mexico where they say the weather is perfect, and that's when most people move to or visit Mexico. Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta are both great beach towns, and they have a lot of tourists that come every year during high season. High season will start October 15th, and from October 15th to April 15th, you'll look at an air conditioner and think, who would ever need an air conditioner? The weather is perfect. Yes, the ocean is a wonder to see, a lovely day to sit at the beach, but when it's not high season, it's hot and humid as hell, and nobody wants to even go outside, and that lasts for about 6 months of heat and humid hell. Both cities are now officially off my list except for during high season. Here you can see Puerto Vallarta on the west coast of Mexico, and here you can see Mazatlan north of Puerto Vallarta. I'm just going to show the year-round map for Puerto Vallarta, and you can see in June and August it's a high of 88 and 90, but with climate change it's a lot hotter and it's humid. It's more like 114. It's terrible. But on the left-hand side, you can see January, a high of 80 and a low of 62. And in December, you can see a high of 82 and a low of 65. It's truly heavenly. Let's go somewhere totally different. Have you ever heard of Durango? I could definitely live in Durango. Durango's a great place, and many famous people have been there to shoot Western movie. Elizabeth Taylor, John Wayne, people like that. Please leave a comment, tell us what you think. And if you like the video, click the like button. If you know somebody that wants to know about Mexico climate so they can have a good time, click the share button. Durango's a little different because it's about a 3.5-hour drive through the mountains. You go through like 80 tunnels through the mountains. It's a beautiful bus ride. I was there last February. The thing I didn't know was at nighttime it goes down to about 30 degrees. Sometimes it snows in Durango. But though it's 30 degrees at nighttime, in the daytime by 11 o'clock in the morning, it's 72 degrees. Great city, great climate. And you can see Durango on the map. To the left of Durango, you can see Mazatlan. It has a very high altitude, lots of universities and businesses, and the place is extremely affordably. It's probably cost you about half as much or half or less to live in Durango. No humidity, wonderful climate all year round, and hardly any tourists. And here's the year-round map. Look at June in the middle, high of 87, but look at the low. It's going to go down to 56 degrees. And in January, it's going to be a high of 69, but it's going to be a chilly 34. And the great thing is the highest temperature on the map you can see is 87, but in the winters, it's going to be a high of 69 to 72 degrees, living in a very no humid climate. We talked about ocean cities, but now let's go further inland, further towards the middle of Mexico. We have a brand new Facebook group. We only have about 200 subscribers right now. It's Mexico Expats Bill Dallas Lewis. A link is in the description below. Join us and share your thoughts about the joys of living in Mexico. We're going to talk about these three cities all at the same time, and that would be Guadalajara, Chapala, and Ajijic. All three cities are about 45 miles from each other, and Ajijic and Chapala are like 10 miles from one another. Both cities are about 45 miles from Guadalajara. I moved from Puerto Vallarta to Guadalajara by accident in the wintertime, and it was kind of shocking because at nighttime in the winter, it might go down to 46 degrees. You have to throw on like 2 or 3 hoodies, but every day it's going to go up to about 90 to 95 in the afternoon, and there's pretty much zero humidity. I liked it a lot. The weather was great. The weather was pretty much the same in Chapala and Ajijic. I've lived in both of those places. The thing is, the air quality is much better than Guadalajara, because in Guadalajara it's a highly populated city and they have a lot of factories there, automobiles, and your eyes start to burn. But once you get over the mountain and into Ajijic, Chapala, all of a sudden the air is fresh and clean. They say it's the best climate in the world. You can see Guadalajara in the middle of the map. It's about a 4.5 bus ride from Puerto Vallarta, about a 6-hour ride from Mazatlan. And here you can see Chapala and Ajijic, which is about a 45-minute drive from Guadalajara and the Guadalajara International Airport. Because the cities are so close, I'm just showing the Ajijic year-round weather map. Look at January, high of 74, low of 41. May, high of 87, low of 57. They say it's the world's perfect climate. Let's go to our last stop, and that would be Morelia. We go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Click that subscribe button and join us. Ask questions, leave comments, and have a good time every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Last winter, I had heard many wonderful things about Morelia, so I decided to go there in August of last year to do a video. When I left Mazatlan that day to take the bus to Morelia, it was 114 degrees and hot and humid as hell. It's a pretty long bus ride from Mazatlan to Morelia. I had to take a bus to Guadalajara, then another bus to Morelia. It's about a 14-hour trip, but I finally got there. I got to my hotel at about midnight. I got up to do a video shoot in Morelia at 7:30 in the morning. I put on a t-shirt, got my camera equipment, and left my hotel. When I got outside, it was August 25th. It was chilly. I had to go back into the hotel and put on 2 hoodies. The thing is, by 10 o'clock, it was 72 degrees, and I think that day the temperature went up to about 85 with pretty much zero humidity. I'm moving to Morelia, and maybe I'll spend my life there. I'm moving there in 5 weeks. The weather's great. It's in central Mexico. It's located next to San Miguel Allende, Guanajuato. It's about 2 or 3 hours from Mexico City. Then I'll be closer to Merida and other places in Mexico. And it's going to be much more affordable. Some people would call that a lot cheaper than living in Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, or Guadalajara. You can see Morelia right in the middle of Mexico, not far from Mexico City. The elevation is high. You can see it's to the south of Guanajuato, and I could probably get a bus to Merida in about 10 hours or just take a plane. And for all the maps I've shown you, it seems like the weather's a lot hotter in every place that I have shown you overall. But if you look at this year-round map for Morelia, look at the high of 84 in January, and look at the lows going down 40 degrees in the wintertime up to about 57 degrees in the summertime. Low temperatures, low humidity, really cheap place to live. Thank you so much for joining us. We have many more videos to come. Click that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next video.